had to put my Ariel shirt on to review the Be a Mermaid in Make Waves eyeshadow palette from Tarte. I got this in a recent Sephora and Ulta haul, and I wanted to share my thoughts with you after using it for a while. I just filmed a tutorial on this look right here, so that should be coming to you in the future if you're interested. I used this palette, of course. Duh. As a very quick reminder, please remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications if you like my videos so that you don't miss anything. So yeah, I got mine at Sephora. I'm going to show you some swatches, talk about my pros and cons. So let's dive into this palette, shall we? This palette runs for $42, so it's a little bit on the pricier side for eyeshadow palettes, but I think a lot of that has to do with not only the packaging, but with the formula as well, which I will get into. So the packaging, of course, is really beautiful. It's got this shiny fabric type top and back to it. It looks like a mermaid shell, almost like the little mermaid bras, you know? It's really cute on the inside. The shades are beautiful. The mirror is really nice. It says 99% mermaid. I feel like this is something that Ariel would have in her makeup collection. So this palette has 14 shades. It's got 11 metallics and 3 mattes. So it doesn't have a lot of matte shadows in it, which is one of my cons. Because I've got so much eyeshadow in my collection, it doesn't matter too much to me that there's only 3 mattes, but for someone who maybe saw this and they're just getting into makeup, they're going to be a little more limited to what looks they can create with just 3 mattes in the palette. Most of the metallics they classify as luster shadows, where there is one that is a duochrome, and that's Bubbles. Bubbles is the purple shade. Or it's not really purple, it's what I have all over my lid today. It is truly a duochrome. It's got a very beautiful shift to it. Just like all of Tarte's eyeshadows, they're formulated with Amazonian clay, and they've also got mineral pigments in them. The eyeshadows smell like vanilla. I love the smell of Tarte eyeshadows. Oh my goodness. It's like a vanilla sugar cookie. I am obsessed. It's not overpowering. I don't want to scare you away from it just with the scent. But you don't smell it like on your eyelids, but it's there when you open the palette. It's very like, ooh, it smells so good, you know? All of the shadows in the palette are dermatologist tested, so safe for the eyes. Some more of my personal thoughts and opinions. The pigmentation is really beautiful. The mattes don't look as nice when swatched, but they look very beautiful on the eye. They blend out really easily. They build up very easily. I don't find that these shadows fade very much throughout the day, which is really nice because sometimes you can find the most perfect colors and then by the end of the day, your look isn't looking as bright and vibrant. And I feel like these in particular, especially the metallics, stay really nice. They don't really crease all that much. They have some natural fading. Like if you're wearing your eyeshadow for a whole work day, you're gonna find it to not look 100% like when you first applied it, but I'm saying that they do last pretty well on the eyes. I don't find a lot of fallout with this palette, so none of the shadows are really flaking off down onto the lower area of my eye when I'm applying them. They're not very glittery, they're very smooth. And I have to say, I like the color selection in here a lot. I know when it was first posted on social media, a lot of people were like, there's not enough purples, there's not enough greens and blues, which are, I understand those are mermaid colors, but realistically for an everyday person or someone who wants to get more out of a palette than just bright colors, I think they did a nice job of pairing the colors together. You can get a very beautiful, nice, warm, natural look. You can do something with just the golds or the more champagne tones. You can do a light pinky tone shadow look, but then you can dip into Lagoon or Splash or Bubbles, the duochrome, and make something a little more fun and playful, which goes on to that playful like mermaid colorful vibe. If you're a makeup collector and you're a sucker for packaging like I am, especially when it's mermaid themed, then you're probably gonna like this palette. I think the shadows are better than what I was expecting them to be. Like, they are very creamy, and I wanted to tell you that I did do a review on their limited edition palette last year. I have it in front of me. It was the Make Believe in Yourself palette, and the Be a Mermaid and Make Waves palette I find a lot smoother, a lot better. Not that this one is bad. The shadows in here are good. They're a lot softer and paler, but that's the theme to the shadows. Let me show you what I'm talking about in case you didn't see that review like a million years ago, or it feels like it was that long ago. But this is the inside of the Make Believe in Yourself palette that they came out with last year, and they did make some upgrades to this one because this one only had one matte eyeshadow in it, which was my biggest like complaint with this one that they came out with, because it had one matte in the entire palette. And then this one's a little different because it does have a highlight right in the middle, so it was eyeshadow and highlight. I mean, you can use it as an eyeshadow as well, but I find that these ones aren't as color heavy. These are more safe for people who don't like bright loud colors. So the formula is pretty similar, but I do think that this one, for whatever reason, blends out better, goes better on without having to be wet. I find with Pixie in here especially, which is one of my favorite shades in this palette, I have to really wet it to get the color payoff that I want and for it to last. So I do still really like this palette. I do think if you bought it, it wasn't a bad choice to buy it. But if you bought that one and were disappointed, this one isn't the same. For whatever reason, I feel like these shadows just blend out smoother. The colors are brighter. There's more of a punch with them. It could just be color selection that I prefer in this one, but very beautiful regardless. I'm honestly so happy that I was so drawn to the packaging of this palette. I love Disney, obviously, and it made me think of the Little Mermaid. And I guess I just didn't have as high hopes for this. I was like, oh, you know, most of the pay probably went towards the packaging and not so much the product, but they blend really well. They're nice. I'm gonna stop repeating myself, but I really like this. I think it's limited edition, so if you want to grab it, especially with the Sephora sale. One thing that's not in this palette that I wish there was is a very light flat matte eyeshadow color, one that works well to set down eyeshadow primer, work as a brow bone highlight without any shimmer in it. I think that's the only thing that I'm really bummed isn't in this palette, because you can use this darker brown as a liner. I mean, you can use any of these as an eyeliner, but I feel like it is missing that flat matte, very pale shade in it. I do agree that the price is a little bit on the higher side, but if you are a collector, you like the packaging, you love Tarte products, you like Tarte eyeshadows, I recommend picking it up while you can. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Thank you so much for checking out this review. Be sure to stay tuned for the future tutorial. So remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, and turn your notifications on so you don't miss it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.